All right, so let's start with the background. Here's the background of what's happening. So let me look up his name here. Sports Expert, Sports Export, whatever. Says he is a troll on Twitter, and someone on Twitter had posted showing clips of LeBron James shooting a bunch of logo threes, deep half court threes, etc. And he said, and I quote, "Until your king, until your goat can do this." Fair. So, as you know, I have Michael Jordan at 1, LeBron James at 2. So I said, "No problem. Here's a clip, or here's clips, excuse me, multiple of Michael Jordan hitting same thing, logo threes from half court." Sports Export came on and said, "Well, that doesn't count because it was at the end of quarters, at the end of the half, so they don't count." I said, "Well, I think they do count." He then went on multiple rants, talking to other people, saying, "You guys don't know basketball. You Jordan fans are stupid," and a bunch of other cuss words, bunch of insults, etc. I said, "Listen, anyone who's an admitted troll probably doesn't know that much about basketball, but hey, if you want to debate basketball knowledge, absolutely." I said, "Anytime, pick the date and time." His response was a while later. I had already left because I don't live on Twitter, as those of you who follow me know. I'm more of a spend more time doing real life things, but kind of TikTok in order. I do TikTok, IG, and then um, Twitter is really mostly it use. I only actually had a Twitter account for a number of years, only to get like Woj bombs and find out stuff from Shams. That's the only reason I even had it. That being said, I said, "Okay, name the time and place." And I logged off for the night. He said, "Well, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now." I was already gone. So I said, "Okay, well, how about you give me the date, the time, and how much you want to pay to do this, because I don't work for free." He didn't respond. He didn't respond again. He started talking about other things. I said, "Okay, let's do it tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's my time. I'm here in the East." He said, "No, I can't do it. I'm working 11 p.m. Central," which is what's up, Woodage, which is 11 p.m. Central, which is midnight Eastern, which is right now. I said, "Okay, let's have this debate. I'll leave basketball early. For those again that know me, you know every Friday night I still play basketball. How did I play? I played fantastic. I rolled my ankle a little bit at the end, actually, but I'll be okay. Excuse me." And then after basketball, we go out, and this is why I'm talking like this. Have a little bite to eat, have a couple of beers. Um, but I left early. I left early, and I came to do this. I am exhausted from basketball and a long day. Um, so we'll give him a few more minutes. If he doesn't show up, then we will log off, and this will be a quick conversation. While I have you here, while I have you here in the chat, why don't you guys feel free just to ask some questions if you want. Maybe I'll tell you more of the story. So he's been here. I can maybe read through some of the conversations, because he was actually debating two other guys throughout the course of the night, and basically his whole thing is If you like Michael Jordan, you're an idiot. Yes, Mark. Yeah, Mark. I know he's annoying as hell, which is why I invited him here. He said he's going to put up 10 grand. So anyone that wants to pay me 10 grand, I'll take it anytime. Um, but basically, it's everybody in the past is terrible. Everybody, that is not named LeBron James is trash. Um, and that's just not true. In fact, like I said, the whole argument started, or I shouldn't even say argument. His whole beef is that somebody else on Twitter had posted, these are some shots by LeBron James making logo threes. If you're until your goat can do that, shush. So I showed them. And it's not it's not disrespectful to LeBron. I like LeBron. In fact, I got a LeBron poster over here. Whoa, I got the LeBron doll, as you know. Clutch Clutch sent that to me as a gift. Because let me go back a step. I'm even giving this dude information that he doesn't know. He says I'm a Jordan fan. Jordan isn't even in my top 10 favorite players. I got LeBron second all time, and I don't rank active players. He's the only one. He's the only one that I actually have active. I've been a fan since 1979 when 79-80 season when I saw Magic play. Magic's my favorite player. Then Kobe. Then I've got like in that top 5, I've got like Steph. I've got I gotta look at my favorite players again. I have a list. I have a bad memory, but I don't remember. So it's like I've seen all these guys play. I've played basketball at every level. I coach. I'm actually just breaking news, Mark. This is for you, Mark and Woodage. I'm signing up because there's a huge shortage of refs, and so I coach youth basketball. But I feel like I've taken my team to a certain level, and I want to pass them off to somebody younger, and I'll help mentor the younger coaches. But I'm actually gonna take a course now and become a ref. And as you know, I'm friends with the ref. I shouldn't say I use the word friend a lot because if I talk to you, like I think Mark, you and I are friends. Woodage, we're friends because we have these conversations. T3 and D, to be honest, I don't know. Like, I appreciate you jumping on. Yeah, Gucci Williams. Yeah, I've had him on the show before. Exactly. So I should technically use the word acquaintance, but I use the word friend because he's cool like that. Like we DM each other. He's been on the show. We help each other. So he kind of inspired me. He definitely inspired me to kind of take on the roughing game because there's a shortage because there's an absolute shortage um, of refs, and I think I look at some of the refs that I see, and the best ones, especially for youth basketball, are the ones that call the game, make it clean, make it basketball. I'm not very, I don't like the rugby style, which is actually also funny because I think this guy thinks I love 90s basketball. And I think that's the best era when anyone who knows me again knows that's not what I believe. But that being said, I don't want it to be a rugby game. I want it to be a legit basketball game. Um, Excuse me. Sorry, I think I had one too many beers, to be honest. So I want to play actual basketball, but the refs. Sorry, I get off topic. I like the refs that like when they make a call, especially for youth basketball, they also teach. Right? I called this. Here's why I called this. Or at a whistle, they'll be like, "Hey, I didn't call you for this, but you're doing this a lot, and I'm going to have to call you for palming, the basketball if you do it anymore. You're taking an extra step here. You're doing this. Oh, when you're boxing out, you're hooking with your elbow, whatever the case may be. I think it's an opportunity where there's a shortage of refs and they need refs, and I think they need refs um, who are going to like teach the game of basketball while they're refing. So that's kind of the next thing that I'm going to do. Um, so Mark, I know you're in here. Um, Yeah, that is how Mark, you're right, that is how most of the refs have been back in the day, and I think we've lost track of that. It's something that we've gotten away from. We've gotten so focused on just, like, calling the game and those types of things, um, and we've gotten away from teaching, and I think, like, AAU, college, they're so focused on winning because 1, there's money in AAU. There's tons of money in college basketball, and I think the focus has shifted from what I look, maybe this is an old school mentality, but let's teach the game of basketball to the kids. Let's teach the game of basketball. Let's teach them fundamentals. Let's teach them the right way to play. All of those. Let's make them better people. And then if those that are good enough, because remember, the percentage that go into the NBA is so small. It's so the NBA has what? 500 players. It is such a small percentage of the people that are playing basketball. Then at least they go in with the right understanding and mindset. So much started with local in-town leagues, coaches who played and were from around the area wanted to teach. Exactly, it would go back and give back to their communities, and I think it's become again the business. It's become the business, and that's a shame, and that's a shame. And we've gotten into this world, and I'm in the world of debates. I get it, but we've gotten so much into the world of debate and the business side of things that we've lost track of what's important, like that we all love the game of basketball. Imagine saying you love the game of basketball and shitting on everything that came before you were born. Like, that's sad. That's sad. Um, right? Like, I have an appreciation. I grew up watching 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020s basketball. I love today's basketball. I think we have more MVP caliber players today than we've ever had. As a three-point shooter, like I said, I just played tonight. Had a great shooting game, by the way. Someone stepped under me as I actually shot a three, and I landed on their foot. That's how I rolled my ankle. Still made the shot. Um, I love watching today's game, but it doesn't mean that I don't have an appreciation for the tens, the 2000s, which were very defensive oriented, slow paced, but it was different. The 90s, which are all about, still it was like a big man era, still a little bit. The 80s, right? For the most part, like I was a Laker fan, so I like the fast pace of the 80s, but at the same time, the 80s had some defense too. The 70s, the 60s, I can appreciate all of the different eras for what they were, right? Like I'm not going to compare Bob Cousy to Kyrie, but I can appreciate how good Bob Cousy was for his time and say for his time, for what they knew, he was amazing. I don't need to say he sucked. Oh, in today's NBA, he wouldn't make the G League. Like, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that because, well, it's not true. Anyways, I went on my rant. Mark, I appreciate you coming out. Woodage, I appreciate you coming out. Everybody that's here watching on Twitter, unfortunately, our contestant didn't show up. So I'll say good night. Appreciate you all. Maybe he'll reschedule. Um, Fluent out.
Give me just one day. Fluent and chill. What it takes, stay real.